VR documentary, Francisco M., Sid S., Matty B., and Liam N. Virtual reality, a modern innovation that could possibly revolutionize the future. Virtual reality is nowadays a headset you put on in order to see a virtual world to immerse yourself into, without doing anything in the real world. Virtual reality could be the next biggest thing that could possibly lead to the biggest revolution this world has ever experienced. Today, VR is used for many things, such as entertainment, but more importantly, to gain knowledge of skills that wouldn't be able to be performed in real life without risk. How is this possible? VR is usually powered by a high-powered PC in order to send images or a virtual world to the VR headset. VR is meant to activate our five senses using this virtual and computer-generated world. VR usually involves receiving imagery inputs from a computer monitor or with a virtual reality headset. The experience can also include sound played by stereo speakers, which simulates touch sensations through force, vibration, and motion. Position tracking technology is also often used to make movement and interacting in the 3D space as real as possible. VR is essential in helping people learn new skills, such as a trainee pilot wanting to learn how to fly. Then VR can help with that. Or a trainee surgeon who wants to perform surgery but can't actually do it in real life. Breaking it up, VR makes the illusion of believing you're actually in the artificial 3D world. As you move around in VR, the VR follows you around. Computers are the only thing we use for making 3D artificial worlds, since computers are high-powered machines with realistic 3D images. A VR world has to be explorable in order to be a real VR experience. A VR world also has to be immersive and interactive. VR has to engage with your body and in mind. It has to be something we can actually feel and have the illusion of being in. VR makes you believe you're living in a completely virtual world. It is a two-way interaction as you respond to what you see responds to you. If it wasn't for important individuals such as Morton Heilig, Jaron Lanier, and Myron Kruger, and many other smaller contributions. Morton Heilig made an innovation in 1957 called the Sensorama, in which he made a 3D virtual reality machine that immersed the users in the virtual world that included smells, actual aromas coming out of the machine, vibrations, and audio in order to be truly immersive. Jaron Lanier coined the term virtual reality, in which the innovations have been called ever since. His company, VPL Research, has made impressive machines, such as a new headset and new data gloves used to touch things in the VR world. Data gloves were originally made by an Atari-sponsored group in order to enhance the viewer experience. Myron Kruger was an amazing inventor and open video place, in which he researched a lot about virtual reality and has even written books about it called Artificial Reality and Artificial Reality Part 2. Eat Best Buy!
VR is a way to immerse yourself in a game. Also, if you wanted to watch a live concert or YouTube, you can immerse yourself into the video. So it's a way to get yourself more into your video game or whatever content you're watching.
Doctors and scientists are starting to use this fairly new technology to help people before and after surgeries, or to help a patient with PTSD or other problems. The use of VR can be used to help many people's lives, or it could be used to play video games on a whole new level. This technological advancement can benefit people in many ways. It could also be bad for people. If they get too attached to VR, they could lose sight of their lives and be stuck in this new virtual realm. VR first started in the US. Later, other countries such as France helped the VR advance in this vast world of technology. Lots of companies helped the VR get started, like NASA, Atari, and so on. The VR is now used throughout the world. They use the VR to train pilots that fly planes and to help doctors with surgeries. The more quality VR prices range from $300 to $1,000, but can be cheaper for $10 that uses your smartphone. The United States of America is a country that is determined to advance VR technology. VR is powered by high-performance computers or by your smartphone if you don't want to spend the money. You can also use VR to learn skills so you don't have to learn them in real life. VR means progress because it can help humans live a better life.
Eat Best Buy!
So VR can be used for multiple things: gaming, entertainment, mostly gaming.
VR started in 1956 and was released in 1965, 10 years later. It only produced 3D pictures. In 1986, Furnace developed a flight simulator. Then, in 1991, Antonio Mendia, a NASA scientist, designed a VR system to practice driving the Mars rover. In 2012, a donation page for the Oculus Rift raised over $2.4 million. After that, in 2014, Facebook bought the Oculus Rift company for $2 billion. This was a defining moment in VR's history because VR gained momentum rapidly after this. At the same time, Sony announced that they are working on Project Morphosis, a VR headset for the PlayStation 4. Also, Samsung announced a Samsung Gear VR headset, a headset that uses the Samsung Galaxy smartphone as a viewer. By 2016, hundreds of companies were coming up with VR models. With large numbers of companies at Facebook 8, Oculus demonstrated a new headset prototype, the Half Dome. This is a very focal headset with a 100 degrees field of vision. Virtual reality has significantly progressed and is now being used in a variety of ways, from providing immersive gaming experiences to helping treat psychological disorders, to teaching new skills and even taking terminally ill people on virtual journeys. VR has many applications, and with the new rise in smartphone technology, VR will even be more accessible.
Eat Best Buy!
I think VR is definitely progress with like gaming for sure. It goes from just playing with a controller to actually being inside the game. So it's progress with like video games.
VR could be used for many revolutionary things in the future, such as the invention of 3D movies you could experience as if you were actually in the movie. This could change the way that we experience movies forever. People could do things like visit museums without leaving their houses, and people could tour and purchase houses in the comfort of their own home. Astronauts could practice space travel without being in any real danger, and pilots could be in flight simulations to learn to fly in realistic environments. This would highly benefit our military by teaching their pilots to fly without risking their lives in a real plane. People who are handicapped could experience what it is like to live without their disability again. People in wheelchairs could walk, and people who are paralyzed could experience movement again.
Eat more Best Buy.
Invention, that's just probably because I don't know the solid answer for that. That's probably just somebody or multiple people wanted to feel video games more realistic. The original one, from what I remember from VR, was the Nintendo. There was some sort of version for it, and it was this like the Nintendo. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but they just made it and actually made people a lot pretty dizzy. Very nauseous because it used black and red sort of lighting and it wasn't really good for motion. So now that technology's developed more, it's actually a lot better, a lot smoother. But basically, it's to immerse people and make them feel more like they're inside the games.
What are some positive aspects of VR?
So positive aspects of VR, it just basically, for people who are long distance away from their friends, it can make them feel like they're a lot closer because there are things like VR, I think it's VR chat, where you can go inside of a actual chat room and you can be with your friends. You can talk to them even though they're not next to you. You have their avatars and it feels like they're next to you.
What are some downsides of VR?
So some downsides of VR, like I said, motion sickness, it can make me feel dizzy. It's not really for everybody. It's expensive and you need a pretty nice gaming rig to get a decent VR experience. So those are some downsides of it. I personally think it's a cool technology. I've used it. It's not really ready exactly for complete mainstream, where they are selling it. But I feel like if it continues developing over time, it will become something that will be just about in every household.
Whoa!
What is he doing,
What the
man?
hell? He's stretching out. He's coming by me now. Oh, he's standing up.
He's biting the tree.
Oh my God! Watch out! What?
Marty, that is a picture that's really worth.
Nick, keep away from the screen. Oh, watch out, Nick. Watch out. Watch.